On my right, I have a collection of books which I have recently obtained, and today I'm going to do a book haul. We will start off with the 80p books, which are no longer 80p, they're now more expensive. It's fine. The first one is Carroll O, Frabjous Day. I don't know much about this, other than that it's a little collection of kind of nonsense-esque poetry. I've really been getting into nonsense poetry recently, so this looks like something I might enjoy. The next one is by Lear, and it's called Nonsense. Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a theme. It's a little collection of nonsense poetry. I think I just really like nonsense poetry. Why be constrained by language? The next one was £2, which is super expensive, and it's called The Body Politic, and it's by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. I don't know much about what this is, but the whole idea of the body politic is very prevalent in my A-level set text King Lear, which is very much about his kind of loss of political authority. So I thought that might be useful for that, but also I just tend to really like these black classic books. They're really well selected. Yeah, and they're cheap. The next one is called Pond by Clair-Louise Benett. I don't really know how to describe this one. It's like a collection of short stories, but just super kind of wacky and modernist and really unusually written. I don't know if you can tell yet, but I really like stuff that's not written in the conventional way. Stuff that like is kind of breaking the boundaries a bit. So I think that's definitely what this is doing. I've just read a few of them and they're super weird, super breaking free from the ordinary. I think I like it. The next one is called Us by David Nicholls. Yeah, I don't really know anything about this one, but it has lots of good reviews and it was on offer, so I bought it. This one is called The Story of Alice by Douglas-Fairhurst. Not only does this have a beautiful cover, but it is also about one of my favourite authors, Carroll, and one of my favourite books, Alice in Wonderland. Basically what it is a biography about Carroll's life during his writing process of Alice in Wonderland. Because I didn't know this, but apparently he had a kind of infatuation with this girl called Alice, and that's who he based the character Alice off of. So I'll be really interested to read about the kind of ins and outs of one of my favourite books and one of my favourite authors. This one is called Holloway. It's by multiple authors, super thin, and again, just really kind of breaking, like just really interestingly written. It's apparently a kind of mixture of poetry and prose, according to what I've read, and I just read a few snippets of it in the bookshop, and it just seems to be something I might enjoy. And also, apparently, some of the authors here are really specialist in, well, not specialist, but they really enjoy writing about nature, and that's not kind of something I've ever really explored in literature. So having that as a prevalent theme will be cool. It's also got a beautiful cover. The final one. I'm so excited about this. Okay. This one is Sylvia Plath, the unabridged journals of Sylvia Plath. I love Sylvia Plath. And yeah, this is just all of her journals published in a big, fat, beautiful book. And my favourite thing about this book is, because I'm obviously not going to read this all front to back cover, but it has a really, really long and detailed index which just kind of lists all of her major life events and every emotion you can imagine. And I don't know if you know this, but Sylvia Plath just had a really kind of interesting, like, unusual life, and being able to read about the ins and outs of that and just sort of, because the index contains everything, all like her shock therapy, her suicidal thoughts, her husband cheating, just absolutely the ins and outs of her brains during all these massive life events. So I've just been really enjoying like looking through the index and finding what was going on in her head at the time, because I love Sylvia Plath. That's the end of the book haul. Hope you enjoyed this. I love Sylvia Plath and I love nonsense poetry.